Hello there. My name is Corey, and I am a Star War.
And my name is Corey, and I am a Star War.
And my name is Jim, and I am a Star War.
And we
are a
Star War. Welcome.
Unbelievable.
We are.
That was amazing.
It's this beer that did it.
Ooh.
We are going to recap, or not recap, we are going to discuss Ahsoka.
Welcome.
Episodes 4. Yes.
Welcome to the show.
Episodes 4, 5, and 6. And, fuck it. Let's get into it. You got a synopsis? For
Number 4. Question number 1. The title is Fallen Jedi. Who is that? Who is the Fallen Jedi we were referring to?
It was Balin, right?
Is it? Is it Ahsoka?
I mean, Ahsoka did fall off the cliff.
Oh, duh. But that wasn't in this episode, right?
Also, episode 4, yeah.
Yeah. This episode ends with
her falling.
the big reveal.
So that says Fallen Jedi.
And he might also be the Fallen Jedi.
Oh, fuck. I just thought of something.
Is it Anakin?
No.
He turns into Vader.
This episode... yeah. Wait, hold up.
Wait, tell me more.
For real?
No, I'm not spoiling shit.
Okay, but... Excuse me. So... This one's called Fallen Jedi?
Yeah.
So remember in the previews, there was like those little TV previews. It says, just in text, it says a Jedi will rise.
Yeah.
And we're all like, who's that? Well, a week ago, my sister was like, it's fucking Jason Syndulla. When he used the Force in episode 5.
He's tapping into stuff.
When the Force was awakened.
So
it awakened in him. The Force did.
Carly, shout out Carly, she was like, it's him. But what if they turn fucking Balin back to a Jedi? So he is a former Jedi.
He was a Jedi.
He is not now.
He let his membership lapse.
He was a Jedi earlier.
He was earlier.
And maybe he'll rise. I don't know. Just thinking that just as we were recording, I thought that.
We were promised a rise, and now we have a fallen.
And he doesn't mean a frolicking good time.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
So this is where they're like in the woods and they're like, we got to get over there and stop them. And then
this is the fart balloon.
And then, yeah. And then Marok shows up with Hadi.
The 7th brother.
And
the 13th sister.
Hu Yang is like, do not split up. And they immediately split up.
They were both like, fuck him.
They're like, that man.
You go that way, I'll go this way.
A moron.
We'll cover more ground.
Yeah. But that's when they let the fart out of the bag by killing the man that we all put all of our hopes and dreams into.
All farts aside, what was that?
I still don't know, right? I mean,
Was he just a manifestation of the...
is it a witch thing? Is it because there's witches and they make dead people put on armor and fight or some shit? And so this was a
Lord
dead
of the
person?
Rings?
Like a wraith.
Right?
Who
is the Lord
the Lord
by
of
the
the
way,
Rings?
Sidetrack. Bear with us. Who is the Lord of the Rings?
Is the ring the Lord of the Rings? Because it's a better ring than the rest of the rings.
Wait, is this a Lord of the Rings podcast now?
No, but it's a question, though, that I think will pertain to Star Wars, because we're going to get back to who the Fallen Jedi is.
I get a lot of DMs about this question for us to talk about on the show. A lot of people DM me and say, who is the Lord of the Rings? Is it Bilbo because he's got the ring and he's in charge of it?
Or is it Sauron?
Is it Sauron because he's like, that's my ring?
I always just kind of thought it was Bilbo.
The Hobbit is the Lord of the Rings. Mm-hmm. Well, why is it rings? Because he's just got the one.
That was the one ring. But there were a couple of rings, right?
There was like 6.
It's been a minute since I've seen it.
There's 9. I think there's 9. There's one for each Supreme Court justice.
Okay. All right. We don't know the answer to that question.
Bye.
All right.
I think this was an episode of We Are a Lord of the Rings.
Welcome back to the show.
So I was doing a bit. Sorry.
We are a Star Wars. So the fart came out of the bag. They were fighting in the woods. And then we had like pretty good fight, Skull and Ahsoka on the map room thing.
Mm-hmm. And Sabine and
I liked watching that dude fight because his stupid saber is like stupid big. Mm-hmm. Like it's big like
a broadsword.
Yeah. It's like Braveheart sword big. Mm-hmm. It's like dumb.
A Braveheart.
And you are Braveheart. And then he swings it around like real hard. I liked watching him fight.
His fighting style, did you say it was more like a knight?
It was like brutalist.
One would knight him.
Yeah.
One would knight him.
A milky saint.
So, okay, recap 4. We just kind of went through some of that.
Also, Hera shows up with the guy from the other show.
I mean, and then Sabine gives dude the map, and Ahsoka gets knocked off the pedestal.
She gets knocked off, and the ship takes off. And we were like, they won't let the ship take off. And then the ship took off, and it knocked the other ships around. Some of them died. They were like, we just killed 3 of these pilots.
That was just a little bit like the light jump Hodo maneuver in Last Jedi.
Yeah. This, they were just like in the wake of it.
So they snuck in a little cameo that I didn't catch. That there's apparently a picture of Kanan on the dashboard in the ship, in the Ghost.
Oh, cool.
Yep.
I didn't see it. I was too annoyed with that episode.
Jim was mad.
But it ends with her waking up in that
World Between Worlds.
With Anakin.
As seen in the movie Soul.
Mm-hmm.
The Pixar film where
about the jazz musician.
Where Jamie Foxx dies and becomes a blob that lives
Was
in
Rebels
space.
out before that movie? Maybe.
Yes.
I don't know.
I'm going to go with yes.
Can't confirm.
There's no way to confirm. We'll never know.
No. But she wakes up standing there, and then she hears like, hey, Schnips.
Mm-hmm.
And then everybody doo-dooed.
I doo-dooed a little bit.
And then the credits rolled, and then we doo-dooed for 6 more days.
Mm-hmm.
Episode 4.
And then they were like, we're going to put this in the theater. But guess what? Only like 3 theaters, because it didn't come to Huntsville, it didn't come to Nashville, best I could tell. So you're welcome,
it was supposed to
New
only
York.
be in AMC theaters, I think.
Well, we got an AMC right down the fucking road.
Yeah, I had one too, but it's not in there.
I'm sure there's several probably in Nashville. Anyway, so you knew some shit was going to be popping off when they were like, yeah, we're putting this one in the theater.
Yeah.
So do you want to get into episode 5 and then we'll talk about all of them?
Yeah, let's do it.
Episode 5 is called Shadow Warrior. Syndulla arrives and Jason is like, something happened and she's in the water. And they're like, who are you? And he's like, I'm a Jedi. I just rose in like 2 episodes ago. And then
he rose
that time. And then we have like the big thing that happens, which is her meeting Anakin in the World Between Worlds. And through flashbacks, she goes over big important parts of their relationship together. And so we're seeing some things we've seen before.
He didn't really give her a choice, did he?
Yeah.
Right.
But they're like, so we're seeing things we've seen before, but in live action now.
Right.
It's amazing. Everybody did even more.
We got teenage Ahsoka. We got Captain Rex live action for the first time. Just a real quick scene, and then he's running off into battle.
And Anakin and all of his like the outfit with the chest thing and you know what I'm talking about. Clone Wars stuff. He looked good. He had that long hair.
He had that good hair.
He had that good hair.
So,
I mean, she just shout out Hayden Christensen.
He nailed it.
Yeah.
He absolutely nailed it.
It's weird. I think we talked about this via text. The amount of shit he's gotten over the years, right? Mm-hmm. And, you know, we're smart enough not to put that all on him because A, he didn't write it, and B, he didn't direct it.
Right.
But he's acted his ass off since he's been back in front of better directors.
And he got a lot of different things to do in this. So good.
Yeah.
He got to be sweet young him and then all the way up to Sith him. It was great.
Yeah. Shout out Hayden.
So narratively, my big question is, who was that man? I don't know that man. Who was that man? So she's not... I don't know how the World Between Worlds works. I think is probably my biggest problem because that's not his Force ghost. That's not the spirit of Anakin.
I don't know. I mean, you kind of have to go back to the end of episode 4 when Baylan knocks Ahsoka off the platform. You don't see her hit the water, right? You just see Sabine screaming, and then the episode ends. You know, does she die? Is she floating in the water?
Is she in the afterlife?
Right.
Is she...
What do you think, Hannah?
I just assumed they didn't show us this. Maybe she did die briefly. And maybe I was trying to describe the war between worlds to Jamie a couple days ago, and I told her that it seemed to me kind of like a purgatory almost, right? Where you're kind of stuck there for a little bit. But I'm terrible at describing things, so I was like, that doesn't do it justice. But in Rebels, we saw, was it Ezra that saved her?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Right? When he was in there and he had been talking to Yoda, right? Because he had been trying to get in touch with Yoda. But we didn't see Hayden save her, right?
Was Yoda dead?
Yoda would have been dead when... No, he wouldn't have been. Not during Rebels.
Right.
Because Rebels is before A New Hope.
So he was talking to a living person.
Right. Yoda was...
in the land before
sitting
time.
in Dagobah.
It's been forever since I saw that one, but that seems right.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's like we don't see her get saved by Anakin. So did he save her, or did she, go underwater and fall into the world between worlds?
Or was it all in her head?
Yeah, is this just a hallucination that she had because she hit the head in the water?
Yeah, because she is fully underwater at one point, right? So it's like you see the whole rebirth thing,
and I think the way that it played out and what they did in the episode, it could be either of those options. It doesn't really matter, and to me, it doesn't change the point of the episode or what she got from it. Whether she was, cohabitating in the world between worlds with Anakin's spirit, not his ghost.
Yeah.
Or if she was just reliving those
she
moments.
Had her own stuff
If she was reliving those moments from her training. Because I think at this point in the show, and for a long time, she's shut off a part of herself because of who her master came to be. It's kind of like, it's similar to what they did with Obi-Wan, where Obi-Wan had, tremendous guilt because of Anakin's turn, right? She likely has similar guilt, of not being able to be there for him or to help him or to save him or to stop him, and whether or not she even has the guilt, he taught her everything. Mm-hmm. Excuse me. So like, how does that sit with her that her Jedi Master was Anakin Skywalker?
But does she get any closure? She gets closure from it, I feel like, in the end of this one, right? And
I felt like so.
She completes her training, kind of, right? But then she also gets that closure that she didn't get.
And to me, I think the closure had less to do with anything that he said to her directly and more to do with the fact that he is a part of her.
The generation legacy, like he was talking about.
Right, the legacy and just her life experience was shared with him, for most of her life. And she has to, on her own, reconcile how she feels about the evil that he became and find value in the good that he taught her, but even find, value in the evil that he became. And I think that, like, her fighting him as the Sith version of Anakin at the end was really, really cool. And, the red eyes go away. It's back to him again. And he disappears right after that.
Can we talk about some of the most badass visuals in the history of a Star Wars?
Go.
When Anakin's walking through the goddamn cloud of dust.
And it does that flash frame to Vader's silhouette.
Oh.
That was good.
That's cool as shit. Good. That's kind of like, it's kind of sort of a throwback. One of the coolest graphics that they've ever done in Star Wars to me was the Episode 1 poster with child Anakin standing against the fucking hut or whatever there. And it's the shadow.
The shadow is Vader.
That shit was always badass to me.
Yeah, that was good.
So it's kind of like a throwback to that, but a little more badass. Shout out Dave Filoni.
It was a great
Directing this episode.
Great episode. I also really liked Anakin's fighting style. Like, especially when he was trending toward the Vader side of that later in the episode when he's got the red saber, and it's just brutal force. You know, she can't fight it.
I mean, she did.
She did.
She did.
She kicked him in the head.
And so then she wakes up in this episode. She also wakes up on the ship. They find her. Jason finds her. They pull her out of the water. She wakes up. We have her topless scene.
Oh, that's right.
Where her
her head.
she wakes up and her headband isn't. She's got nothing on. It's
That's
just
right.
nude between the things and her face.
Yeah.
It's pretty hot.
It helps that it's Rosario Dawson playing.
But I mean, that's as much hotness as we get. Like one thing.
That's probably all we need for that
show. She took her headband off.
Right. Ooh.
But she wakes up and she says, hey, I figured it out. We got to get in a whale's mouth. And then we'll find Ezra. Except she doesn't say we'll find Ezra. She says, I don't know where we'll go. Let's just jump in the fucking mouth. And everybody's like, great, we'll do it.
So I think I texted you guys this earlier, that since this season takes place around the same time of Mando season 3, you know, in Mando season 3, you see Grogu in the back of the ship, and we see the Purrgil, and he's all like, you know, he's got his hand up and he's like reacting.
He was waving to Ahsoka.
He's like, what's up?
Oh.
I'll buy that.
Clever.
Seems legit.
Yeah. What else do we get out of this episode? I mean, she's like, what? So she was pretty chill, all things considered, compared to how we knew Ahsoka from Rebels, right? When she was a teenager, but she's even more chill after this rebirth.
Because now she's Ahsoka the White, according to everybody.
Yeah.
On the internet.
People just make that up.
They just call her that. Yeah.
I mean, see, now it does seem kind of on brand that we brought up the Lord of the Rings at the beginning of the episode.
Is this an episode?
The ring is the Lord?
Is this an episode of We Are Lord of the Ring? It is.
You think The Hobbit is the Lord of the Rings?
I do.
It's called but then the other movie was called The Hobbit: the Lord of the Rings.
Was it called The Hobbit is the Lord of the Rings?
Hey, do you remember that time we hung out with Gimli?
Oh yeah, that's right. He was the Lord of the Rings.
John Rhys Davies. We got to hang out with John Rhys Davies for just a second. He needed to be in a Star Wars. He's in Indiana Jones. He's in Lord of the Rings.
He should be in a
I'm
Star
sure
Wars.
he was in somewhere. Daniel Craig was in it. I'm sure he's in it.
That's true.
Wasn't there like a Backstreet Boy and goddamn one of them, Phantom Menace or one of them?
Wasn't he one of the Dougs?
Like a stormtrooper or something?
I think John Bon Jovi was a cowboy, but he got shot in one of the scenes.
He was a cowboy.
Was he on a still horse?
Oh, that's Young Guns 2. That's Young Guns Part 2. John Bon Jovi's in that.
Was he also wanted? Did Cad Bane find him?
That's the song he wrote for the movie. Wanted Dead or Alive. Shout out Richie Sambora.
So, yeah, this is one of the better Star Wars that has ever Star Wars.
I agree.
Right?
Yeah, the whole time you're like, I cannot believe what I am getting to look at right now.
And we still didn't see Thrawn, and we still didn't see Ezra, and it did so much for us.
Right. It was a lovely standalone story.
We saw is
It was.
I like it.
It was a standalone. It had.
I like
it was exactly what I've been talking about. It told a story, and it also played with the forward momentum of the big plot arc.
I'm going to start putting ISO cameras on just the two of you guys when we record these episodes, because y'all's reactions to things are gold.
It's because Jim is a lie.
All right, so episode 6, since we're doing all 3, 4, 5,
wake
and
up
6.
in the mouth of a whale. I would like to go ahead right now and just like take a little sidebar. Remember when we recorded an episode and people asked 3 different ways, will I like this show if I haven't watched all of the cartoons? And we were like, you'll be fine. think you really need to have watched some of the shows
Some of the
for
rebels,
this, because I realized that there were like things that lived under rocks on a planet surrounded by a ring of dead space whales, and those space whales can hold chips in their mouth and they can fart themselves from one galaxy to another galaxy just with the power of their farts. And you
I don't
can
know
just sit in their mouth while they do it, and you're just
That's
totally
true.
fine. That's so crazy.
It's a lot of methane gas. And
You really gotta. That's a lot to swallow for if you were like, I like Andor, pew pew. Now it's like,
I mean,
space
Disney does
squid.
have a list of essential Ahsoka episodes on the Disney Plus app.
But they should have been Essentials Rebels episodes, but that's really just the Rebels TV show. Because I've watched the Essential Ahsoka lineup, and it's her episodes, and it's her and Anakin, but it's not a lot of Ezra and Sabine
True.
and Hera, and Sabine's a huge part of this show, and they're going to find Ezra. So I mean, you kind of.
I hope we get more Sabine and other things. I don't know if that'll be possible. If they don't, are they going to do another Ahsoka? Have they talked about that?
We don't know.
We don't know. We know that it's all
leading towards a movie, right? Like a Mando movie.
Yeah.
That brings it all together.
You make Jim happy. They did.
No, listen, you
So
guys
happy.
watch. The end of this first season is just going to be a hook. That's all it is. They done found Ezra
Yeah.
and Thrawn. Let's talk about
The end of this
let's
will
talk
be
about
him
Thrawn.
standing on top of a mountain going, I am now here to heir the empire, please, because I am the
Right.
heir. I am him. I'm the heir to it.
He is I and I am him.
Welcome.
Slim with a tilted brim.
What's my motherfucking name?
Snoop Dogg.
That's right. Go on. What were you going to say?
I forgot.
No, I know.
He wasn't on the mountain talking about.
You said let's talk about Thrawn.
Oh yeah, Thrawn
Episode 6, we get Thrawn
and Ezra.
and Ezra.
I was taken aback. I was like, Ezra's older than I am.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
like 40. He's 47 years old. Look at him.
He lives on a planet of like crazy death or something.
So
It's like the wildest weird planet.
Let me ask about this, because Thrawn is like, yeah, I know where he is. Here's how to get to him. He gives Sabine this little radar machine, right?
Yeah.
Sends her on her way with the fucking, what do you call it, a howler?
Yeah,
Something? Some sort of wolf thing?
wolf-looking thing
Is that the thing? Yeah.
looks like
with
my dog.
look kind of like a platypus also somehow.
A
Yeah.
bat face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what Corey said.
I want to talk more about that.
Sends her
later.
on her way. She gets jumped. The thing gets wrecked, and then she's like, "How am I ever gonna find him now?" And then she finds the little rock people, and so like
The hermit crabs.
Yeah.
what happened? Like Thrawn had that look of, yeah, I know where he is, and I'll tell you. But he had that. It was kind of devious.
Well, later he says like either she'll die
Or he sent
or they'll
Balin
find
and-
each other and then they'll die. Like they're gonna die. Who cares?
Yeah, well, he also sent the mercenaries out
Yeah.
for them.
Yeah, and Balin didn't look too happy about that. Right?
Balin's like, I don't work for you.
What did Balin think was going to happen?
Well, then
What's he starting?
Thrawn called
What's he
him
creating?
flawed, right? He called him flawed because
Because he used to be a Jedi.
yeah.
Yeah.
But so yeah, then Balin's like, we're gonna use this land and then we're gonna start some new shit. Like, and you get a little bit of a tease. Like that's where you find out he was the Jedi, right? And wasn't it this episode?
Yeah.
And then he was like, and then I was like, nah, but he didn't reveal too much about why he decided he wasn't a Jedi anymore, right? And then now he's on this other mission outside of what he's doing for the witch lady. I just forgot her
I think
name.
it's because he has a drinking problem.
Could be.
And he just couldn't cut it.
Could be.
They frown upon it.
Yeah.
Frown.
That and attachments.
So I mean,
Do not get them started about attachments.
there's a lot here. We get Thrawn,
Yeah.
right?
Right?
So
Thrawn has been through a lot, apparently.
Yeah.
He's living his like Colonel Kurtz at
He
the
is living
At
his
the-
Colonel Kurtz life.
at the end of the river. I'm in the temple.
That's right.
I eat what I want.
His heart of darkness.
He looked like He had the body of Donald Trump.
No, come on. His face was a little wider than what we're used to seeing in the cartoon.
I
But
got no problem with Thrawn being older.
No, I thought it was
and
great.
having a belly.
Yeah.
I thought it was great. The only thing, it just took me off guard, not because Thrawn was older or had a belly, but because it's Nicholson. It's his voice, right? And so as soon as he started talking, all I could see was the cartoon, and it was a little disorienting. But it's great to see him, and I hope we see more of him.
so what's up with his stormtrooper leader guy?
I kind of like that they've been repairing their shit with what they had around, and
It kind of looks like they landed on a planet that's like barren and terrible, but there's also like just piles of gold
right.
everywhere. And so
They
like,
landed on
let's fix
Dorado.
everything with gold.
They landed on the lost city of gold. The audience is not going to know that one.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Remember gold?
Gold. So, and it also, I thought, lent itself to the whole Colonel Kurtz, madman at the end of the river. It's kind of weird. But one thing that I thought was really interesting was that Thrawn, for as calculating and cool and methodical, he was a little itchy brain about getting out of there, right? Like, he's like, you want Ezra? Fuck it. I don't care. Here, go. We're leaving. We're bouncing. Balin, sousaphone, go. If you're not back in 11 seconds, we're leaving. I want out of here, right? Like, he's sweating it a little bit. The witches are like, we got a glowing phantasm orbs with a laser rope that are going to put you in the corner, Sabine Wren. And he's like, I don't care. Hurry up. Let's go. We got the door. Let's go. And I don't think it's because he's like itching for combat. I think he's a little crazy in the head and wants to get the fuck out of there. Because those little hermit crab people be getting into his bed at night.
Are the doors playing in the background?
Yes. Martin Sheen is lurking in the water.
It was the doors, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the end. Burn the end. Remember? Do you remember? You remember that? Jim has now left in the Malemo Fountain.
Away from the mic.
And he's back.
Do you miss me?
So is that all for 6? Is that all we got?
I mean, a lot happened in 5 and 6.
One little side thing. This is kind of cute. So the name of the thing is Far, Far Away. That's the name of the episode.
Yeah.
And it starts off with her asking old Robot to
tell me a story.
Tell me a story. And he starts it off with long ago in a galaxy far, far away. And it's like, oh.
I smiled real big.
I did too. I thought
like
that was wonderful.
The most like snake putting its own ass up its own ass thing. Like it really went around in a circle.
What if that's
my insight?
The last ever Star War to be made. What if that's how it should end? With Hu Yang telling
with him like closing a book.
The never-ending story.
Never-ending story.
This show got more musical than it ever has.
This is our musical episode. So like Star Trek, Strange New Worlds had their musical episode.
Are we doing an episode of This Is Our Musical Episode?
We are.
Yes. And its name is called.
I Like Music.
Musical episodes. Q.
Turn around.
All right. So what else happened?
Yeah. What else happened, you guys?
Wait, I thought Ezra also was a little bit crazy in the head.
Something ain't right. It's felt a little weird. And maybe that was just me thinking too much of the Thrawn send-off when he's like, yeah, I'll tell you where he is. I know. Like, why is...
You think it's a fake?
He just letting him be out there. Unless it was like... I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like he's exiled within the exile. It's like, you stuck me out here, now I'm going to put you on this planet.
And I also think that it was insurance, right? Like, he knew that it was going to require somebody looking for them, whether it was him or Ezra, right? So why just limit? I don't know. I think he had, as soon as the witches opened the gate and they brought the ship over and all that, I don't think cares about Ezra anymore.
Right.
Because if he wanted to kill him, he had 47 years to do it, or however long they've been there, because Ezra's like 72. but Sabine looks the exact same.
She got them good genes.
She apparently does.
Ezra looks, I mean, when he looks mostly the same, he just got a beard. He's a lot taller.
He's an old man.
He looks like the live action Aladdin.
He does.
Is he the live action Aladdin?
I never seen it.
Me either.
Jimmy, are you
I'm
getting
anti.
beard?
Yes.
I'm anti live action remakes.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the shit has popped off at this point, right? I don't want to say angry, but you know, you get so worked up about wanting to see something, and it's a slow burn. I get it.
Well, did they leave at the end of the episode? Do they jump back in the Star Destroyer and take off yet?
No, it ended with them packing up the little camp, right? Sabine and
he was
Ezra.
Like, they're moving. They can't stay in the same place too long. Let's help.
That's how it ended, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Was I there?
It was 2 nights ago. I don't remember. That's a lot to remember.
So we have 2 episodes left. Are we going to stop Thrawn from getting back to the regular galaxy, or does he get back there and then it ends? This show ends with
yes,
him
that's what I think is going to happen.
Standing with his hands on his hips, saying, "Hello, I am airing the Empire now. I win."
Because he's the big villain in the movie, probably, right?
Makes sense.
It must be.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Been building him up for years. There's nobody else.
It's like Thanos.
Yeah.
Only it's Thranos.
Thranos.
What?
That's clever. I laughed. For those of you who have been listening for a while,
we apologize.
We are. We're doing our best.
But if you follow on Instagram, you'll know that there was an episode a while back where I referenced having a Wicket Ewok toy when I was a young boy. When I was a young boy, I had Wicket that I put in my pocket and carried around some. And I said I was going to do it again. I've been on a hunt lately at some toy stores trying to find another 1983 Wicket. I have one packed away somewhere in a garage, but I don't want to go through all that stuff, so I just bought another one. I didn't find the 1983 one. I did find the Power of the Force releases from the 90s, late 90s. And it's a good looking little figure. And he's made appearances on our social media lately. The first one was he was in my pocket.
Where he should be.
Where he needed to be.
Just like in the Dr. Seuss book.
He traveled around Pensacola.
You got to walk it in your pocket?
It's a wicket in your picket. Is what it is.
He had some sushi in Pensacola.
Mm-hmm. Stormtrooper sushi.
Home of sushi.
Mm-hmm.
He had a bourbon on the balcony in Orange Beach, and he had a big ass roll at Lambert's in Foley on the way out of Gulf Shores / Orange Beach.
He's lived a full life.
He's had a good week, and this episode is sponsored by Sweetwater Bakery. Corey picked up some delicious treats on the way here. They did not sponsor us, but we did enjoy some delicious treats courtesy of Corey
my sugar's
Martin
crashing right now
from Sweetwater Bakery in Florence. Appreciate that. Shout out Laura Cynical and Jacob Cynical. Do y'all have any other thoughts before we wrap up for the week?
What are we excited about for the next 2 episodes of the show? Is anyone going to die?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Well,
maybe Balin. I mean, unfortunately, the actor has passed.
Right.
So
I think he's the Jedi who rises.
I don't. I think it's Jason.
I think it's Jason.
That's pretty fun, though.
It's certainly not Sabine.
She's the worst. She's terrible.
According to Hu Yang, she's the most worthless living creature that's ever come before him.
It is not sugarcoat.
No.
So do you think the end of episode 8 is going to piss you off, Jim?
Yeah. 100%.
There's no way it ends on. There's no way it doesn't end on like a cliff.
It's gonna right, and that means that this whole season is about getting the A-Team back together, because it will end with Hera and Chopper and Jason and Ezra and Sabine and Ahsoka riding off and Huyang, that bastard.
And they spend $4 and get Zeb.
I hope we're going to get Zeb at the very end.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to go riding off after Thrawn to appear in the Thrawn movie.
But then it's like a slow motion. They all come together. It's slow motion high five. Like the regrouping, rebanding. They get the band back together. And then we get like Kanan Jarrus Force Ghost throwing his hand up in that high five. And then they play the song from the Transformers. It's, you got the touch.
And then in the background, there's two Purgles fucking.
Where else do you think comets came from?
Stay tuned for our sexy Star Wars episode.
That's right.
Coming soon.
Yeah. I think that's going to be a mini episode.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is.
Well, I think that's going to do it, right, for this week.
Yeah, happy Tano Tuesday, wherever it is. It's Tano Tuesday somewhere.
Hold on.
That's what Jimmy Buffett used to say. R.I.P.
Oh, yeah. Listener question from Scott Turner.
Oh, never mind.
You sent it to me, and
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
All right. So, listener question from our faithful friend and listener, Scott. I read more this week about the possibility of a Lando movie. What character would you want to see get a spinoff, and what events would you include?
Well, we've already gotten Boba Fett. We've gotten Ahsoka. We got a Han Solo movie. We're getting Lando. Like, obviously, I'd like to see something on Luke, but I mean, episodes 4, 5, and 6 were about Luke, so you know, you want to say it's his story. I mean, it mostly is. You know, it's about other things, but it's mostly about Luke Skywalker.
Mm-hmm.
Lando's going to be a good one, I think.
I think that.
And are they doing Donald Glover?
Yes. And guess what? They're making it as a movie and not a TV show.
My answer to that would be Kylo Ren. I think
I'd watch a Kylo Ren movie.
Adam Driver is like one of the better actors that has appeared in any of these shows at all. He's amazing. I love him.
Then you could get your Knights of Ren.
I love that character. So yeah, let's see him joining the Knights of Ren.
Well, if we're going down that road, then I would love to see a Finn spinoff. Where he has a story.
We might be getting that. I mean, we're getting a Rey movie, right? Are they going to do a Rey movie and not have Finn and anybody else in it?
He supposedly signed on.
The only thing that they've confirmed that I saw is that they're doing another movie with Daisy Ridley, which I'm here for. I just hope they have a plan.
Yeah.
Surely they learned from the lessons
somehow.
I mean, fuck it. I'd like to see a Rey story, a Finn story, and a Poe Dameron story.
I would love to see, especially in light of the episode 5 of Ahsoka, I would love to see a standalone Anakin Clone Wars story that we haven't seen before. Something with him, with Hayden playing him. I mean, I would love to see a Rogue One like one-off with Anakin from the Clone Wars being a badass.
How long do y'all think he had to like retrain when he had to get ready for Kenobi?
I have no idea. I would imagine several months.
If it was me, I would have been playing with sabers the whole time. I would never have gotten rusty.
You wouldn't have gotten out of practice.
You know,
I'd be like, dude, I've been waiting for this phone call.
We don't have a TikTok account, but we should maybe set one up just so like the three of us can like as we're getting together, we can do training with lightsabers, because I've got a fuck ton of lightsabers. We should do that, and like, because there's tutorials on how to do shit and how to do the Obi-Wan.
I will watch you do the Obi-Wan.
No, that's the fun of it, is we do this shit and make fools of ourselves.
That's how you break a lightsaber.
Oh, they got them for cheap though. Like, I've got the.
Hold on. You do the TikTok that's the saber fighting techniques, and I'm gonna do like an ASMR, like crafting your own lightsaber out of a wrapping paper tube, and it's just gonna be like me coloring.
And then putting duct tape around one end to make a handle.
I was gonna see how long you would do. That's pretty funny. Corey's just putting his finger in that whoopie pie and eating it.
Jesus, save it for the dirty episode.
So follow us on Instagram. At Alabama Slam Pod. We're on Facebook as well. Just search We Are a Star War. Not Alabama Slam. We Are a Star. Hey, that's my wrestling podcast, Alabama Slam Pod. Y'all were just going to let me go, weren't you?
Yeah, you can watch.
You seemed very authoritative, and I don't know our hashtags or our @s or whatever.
I don't like to stop you when you get on this roll.
We Are a Star War at We Are a Star War on Instagram. You can just search We Are a Star War on Facebook as well.
But if you like wrestling, you can watch.
Yeah, if you like wrestling, listen to Alabama Slam Pod.
There's crossover potential.
Absolutely.
John Cena is going to be the new Han Solo. No, he's not.
Chris Jericho is going to be fucking Chewbacca.
There you go.
Follow us there. Review us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify if you don't mind. The more reviews we get, and if they're positive reviews, that helps get us in front of more eyeballs and ear holes. And follow our fellow podcasters at thealabamatake.com. We've got book podcasts, wrestling podcasts, pop culture podcasts, sports podcasts, and a music podcast as well.
Tell them about the t-shirts.
T-shirts, tpublic.com. Search We Are a Star War, or you can search, if you can't find it there, due to the tag limitations, the Alabama Take has a store, and you can find it in the Alabama Take store at tpublic.com.
Do not search buttholes.
Do not search buttholes.
We cannot be held responsible for what comes up when you search buttholes.
Buy some shirts, buy some stickers, a fucking tote bag, coffee mug.
I think we need a tote bag.
Mouse pad.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, mouse pad.
Smash that like.
Smash that like button, fam. And we'll talk to y'all next week. This is the way.
Shout out to Drew
Kellogg, our only fan, I think, at this point. Shout out, Drew.
He's our best
Hello,
fan,
Drew.
certainly. Until one of you step up and knock him off the mountain. He's our number one
Y'all
fan.
got a hard fight.
Now, he is the Lord of the Ring.
Drew is our Padawan.
Shit. Is he the Lord?
Drew is the Lord of the Rings.
Of the Rings?
Of the Rings.
Nice.
I was trying to say he was our Padawan, but I think he's the Lord of the Rings.
He's the Lord of the Ring.
He is.
You are. Shout out, Drew.
Good job, Drew.
Shout out, Space Tiger.
Did you make that up?
No, that's his band.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Love it.
We are a Star Wars.
We are a Star Wars.
We are a Star Wars.
Bye.
I was at the end.